guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a bridal look. As you can see, I am not getting married, but I wanted to do a look for people that are getting married and that are looking for new ideas, people that are doing their own makeup, you know, makeup artists that are looking for just inspiration for their brides. And I just thought that this was such a cute look. It's definitely something not too neutral and also not too dramatic. It's full of those people that want to do something a little bit different but also not get out of their comfort zone. So I feel like this look was so pretty and I really loved it. So I really hope you guys enjoy. I did use a lot of products that I think are going to be really good for you guys. These products will not crease on you. They will not be cakey. This would be all full coverage. They would be waterproof. This makeup will not move and it will last you all night. I promise you. So definitely check out the description box even if you are not going to watch the whole video, because there's a lot of products in there that are really good and I swear by it. So this video is also going to have a giveaway at the end of the video, so make sure you stay tuned for that one as well. It's going to be linked on my Instagram too, so make sure you check that out as well. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe below, like this video, and let's just go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so the first thing I want to do is definitely moisturize my face, which I already did. I feel like on your wedding day you definitely want to have a very moisturized and just hydrated face, because you don't want any makeup to be cracking, anything, you know, creasing, nothing like that. And I feel like there's a misconception of people just thinking that if you have oily skin you shouldn't moisturize as much. That is totally wrong. You should definitely, now, I'm not saying like take a bunch of moisturizer and like pull over your face and look greasy, but you should definitely go in with something that's going to hold up your makeup a lot. I recommend the CeraVe moisturizer. It comes in like a little tub. I actually have it. I'll be right back. This is it right here. Is the moisturizing cream by CeraVe. You can pick this up at any CVS near you, Target, you know, Walmart, Greens, whatever it is. And this is a really nice base. You don't need a lot of this. It's very thick. It's definitely going to leave your skin a little bit more like if you would just applied sunscreen. But it's a really nice base for all your products to go over top. You definitely want to do that because you're going to be applying a lot of heavy makeup. And you're not only going to be, you know, sweating throughout the night. It's going to be a very long night. You're going to be taking pictures. You don't want just anything to look dry. So after you moisturize, you want to go in with an eye serum or eye cream. I'm going to be using this one by Judith August Cosmetics. It's called Firm Up Wake Up, and it looks like this. It's really good for when you're feeling tired. It kind of brightens up your under eyes and it really hydrates that area as well. So that's really good for concealer. So I'm just going to be applying this under my eyes and letting it set for a little bit. You can also apply this all over your lids if that's what you want to do. I just like doing this. So we're going to start with our eyes today. I'm going to be also, you know, priming my face afterwards. I'm going to move on to priming my eyes. I'm going to be using this concealer by Sadia's Cosmetics. This one is in the shade Light. You can also replace this with the P. Louise base. Also works really well. Or just any concealer you have at home. I find that the Tarte Shape Tape also works really well. I'm going to be just placing a little bit of this on my little palette right here. And then I'm just going to go ahead and apply this all over my eyes. Notice I'm just doing patting motions just because I feel like this covers a lot more of the darkness on my lids, and because it also applies it very evenly. Don't be afraid to put a lot of concealer on your eyes because it really is going to blend down to almost nothing. So you definitely want to make sure you cover everything so there's no veins peeking through or anything like that. Then I'm just going to be blending this out with my beauty sponge. So the palette that I'll be using today is going to be the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill palette. I have it right here. This is the only almost neutral palette that I have, so I really had no choice. If you were to use single shadows, I would recommend Makeup Geek. They really have really good ones. The ones that I have in my collection, I don't really want to use for this video, but I do really recommend those as well. I feel like this palette is very decent, so I'm just going to be using this. And so I think I'm going to be starting with this shade right here for my transition. I'm kind of taking this shade to really warm up the eyes and to create a nice base for the next shadows that I'll be using. So I'm just kind of blending this all over my crease. It doesn't really matter how far up you go because this shadow is really close to my skin tone at least. So I like it to, you know, be a little bit closer to the brow, but that's not something that you have to do. So I feel like that looks really nice and blended. I'm going to jump into the next shade, and I think I'm going to be going for this shade right here, even though that's going to darken us up a little bit. That's what I'll be using, and I'm going to be placing this kind of in the outer corner and kind of blending that in right there. I'm going to be switching to my Morphe M514 because this one is a lot smaller and I feel like I will have more control of where I put the shadow. So like I said, I'm going into the outer corner and I want to slowly kind of move this in towards my inner corner, but I want to do it just very slowly, ever so slightly. So I'm going to go back into the first shade that I used, and I'm really just going to be blending that out. It's just so there's no really harsh lines right there. I don't want to lose that shape that I created. I'm going to go into this shade right here, which is red, but we're just going to use it really softly. I'm going to be applying this kind of in the outer corner just to, you know, make this a little bit darker. I wanted to do a rosy look, but I realized I don't have any rosy shadows, and I couldn't believe it because I have so many palettes. But I wanted to make this kind of easy for you guys. I didn't want to be using a couple of palettes because I know a lot of people don't really have many, so if you can see everything with just one palette, then it's probably easier for you. The next thing I'll be doing is applying some shimmer, and for this I kind of want to do kind of a cut crease or semi-cut crease. I'm taking whatever was left on that concealer that I previously used from this little palette, and I'm going to be putting that kind of right here. We're going to soften this up a little bit, you'll see a little bit later. But I'm just going to be creating kind of that shape, not taking it too far back. Kind of just going right there in the beginning. Normally I wouldn't go with such big brush, but that's okay. So now I'm going to be kind of setting that shadow with this beautiful pink right here, this one, and I feel like this is probably my favorite shade from this palette. It makes it all worth it, I promise. It's such a buttery shimmer, it's just gorgeous. I'm going to be taking a little flat brush from Wet n Wild, and I'm dipping into this shade, and you're going to see how beautiful it is. It's just such a pretty shade. Every time I wear this shade, I do get a lot of compliments on my eye looks, but we are going to kind of cover it a little bit because we're going to be applying some pigments. Now that that is all covered, we definitely have to go back to our mattes because we definitely want to blend out those harsh lines. So I'm going to be going into this shade right here, the second one we used, and I'm going to be just blending that in with that shade. I think we are pretty good right there. So now I'm going to be applying kind of a shimmer, or not a shimmer, but a pigment. And I'm going to be using two. I think I'm going to start by using this MAC Naked Pigment. And I just don't know how bright this is going to be. So I'm going to top it off if I need to with this MAC little pigment right here that was from their holiday collection. It's called Sugar Rush. So let's start with Naked, just because I feel like this one is kind of dull, but it is really pretty. This one is very popular among brides, so I don't know. I just felt like the first time I used it, I was just not impressed. But a lot of people do like this for bride looks. So we're just going to start applying this over top of that, and hoping that this brings me a little bit more, you know, of a sparkly thing going on. I feel like it definitely did something, but I'm just not super impressed. So I feel like we just gotta layer a bunch of things today. Alright, so that is the first one right there. I just feel like I'm not there yet, and so I'm going to be dipping into the second one. This one is a little bit more rosy or more champagne-y, and I think this one has just a little bit more glitter. Oh yeah, that's it. That is what I was looking for. I feel like this one just has little sparkles everywhere. I don't think you're going to be able to see it on the camera. I hope you are, because this is just such a stunning pigment. The eyeliner I'll be using is the Sephora 12-hour long-lasting eyeliner. This has been with me forever, and I just really trust this eyeliner. I love it. It is definitely waterproof, and it just lasts forever, and it really dries to a matte finish, so I love using it. Alright, so I accidentally made this one too thick, so then I have to even them out, so the whole thin thing didn't end up happening. But I'm just going to try to fix it with my next step, and I'm just going to be using kind of a black eyeshadow. I really like the one from Makeup Geek. It's called Corrupt. It's as black as this one, but this one is just my favorite black eyeshadow ever. I feel like nothing tops this. If I can open this. One is the Natasha Denona Blackest Black eyeshadow, and it comes in two finishes. There's the shimmer one, and this is the matte. So I'm just going to be taking a little bit of this with my brush, and I'm kind of just going to be going over that shadow. I'm sorry, going over that eyeliner. And I'm not yet blending this out or anything. I'm just kind of covering that eyeliner with shadow, and I feel like this is going to really seal it, and it's going to make it not smudge throughout the night. It's just going to really, you know, hold it in place. Now you want to take this one right here, which is next to black, but it's still brown, and you just want to darken it just a tiny bit. You don't want to overdo this one because it's obviously really dark, so you just want to emphasize whatever darkness you got from, you know, really close to your lashes or anything like that. You just want to darken that up. This is really pretty for kind of creating the illusion of having kind of a smoky eye and an eyeliner without really having the hard, you know, the harshness of an eyeliner. Alright, so we're moving on to the face, and I definitely want to prime my face really well. If I had oily skin, I would probably go with a Makeup Forever Mattifying Primer. Since I don't, I'm just going to be applying the Timeless Smoothing Primer from Tarte. This is going to like fill in any, you know, blemishes or spots that I have kind of with my pores. It's also going to smooth out my skin really nicely. I always tell people that they can, you know, layer their primers, because I feel like a lot of people forget that, and they'll just use one primer for one issue. But we all have a lot of issues. Like, I have pore problems, I have darkness problems. I would like to use something that was a little bit more, you know, hydrating. So I'm going to go in with the Mario Badescu one spray, and I'm just going to spray this kind of all over my face. I'm going to cover my eyes as well, just because I want the extra moisture on my face, just because it's so dry. So I want my foundation to not look really flat. So I'm just going to go ahead and spray that. There's also other options. You can probably use the Wet n Wild Cucumber Spray. I know that there's also a Rose Water Mist, I think by Milani. So now I'm going to be using one of my favorite products. This one is by Judith August Cosmetics, and this one is called the Killer Cover Palette. As you can see, I use it a ton. The name is rubbing off because I love this. I feel like this is the perfect thing to have if you're going to a special event. This is going to hold up all night. It's not going to crease, it's not going to budge, it's not going to look cakey. It's just like the perfect palette, and it also has a bunch of shades for different skin tones. You can use it for light, dark, and medium, and I feel like it's just like really good palette. So I use almost all the shades in here. As you can see, I haven't really dipped into this one. Kind of mix this one and this one for concealer, but since I'm going to do a bridal look, you don't want to have a lot of, you know, white, like a white separation from your concealer to your foundation. You want it all to like kind of be your skin color. That way when you take flash photography, it's not going to look really white under your eyes. So I'm just going to go in with the one that is closest to my skin. So I'm going to go in with this one. You can also contour and highlight, which is what I'll be doing today. So I'm going to start with this one right here. I'm going to be using that one for under my eyes, and then I'll be using the darkest shade over here for contour. So that's what I'll be doing. I like doing this underneath my foundation because I feel like it just applies better, and that way when you apply your foundation, it all kind of blends together. I'm using this flat brush by Morphe, I believe. You can also use just any flat, you know, big brush that you have. And I'm just going to be placing this underneath my... Before I even move forward, I almost forgot. I do want to color correct under my eyes. So I'm going to be using this orange masking cream also by Judith August Cosmetics, and when you open it, it kind of has 3 shades right here, which are good for any really skin type. I like dipping into this one. As you can see, this one is more coral. I feel like this one would be perfect for someone with light skin, and I just like this one because my under eyes are very dark, so I'm going to be dip into this one under my eyes, and as you can see, this one is very creamy. Really creamy. The Killer Cover palette tends to have a much like a thicker consistency, but there's a lot of things that you can buy to soften it, like the MAC Medium Mixer, the Inglot Diluter, and stuff like that. So it's just, you know, it's a matter of knowing how to apply them. I feel like this one is just a lot smoother and easier. This is also going to be part of the giveaway at the end, so make sure you stay tuned. I'm going with my sponge, and I do wet this for this kinds of products when they're very thick cream products, because if not, they will not work for you. I have learned that the hard way. It's just going to apply really dry and kind of streaky, but wetting your sponge really makes all the difference. I'm going to go back into the Killer Cover palette, and like I was doing, I'm taking this light shade right here, and I'm going to be applying this as a kind of concealer under my eyes. This one has a very sticky consistency. Don't be afraid of that. It's really going to apply really nicely. What I like doing is kind of going over my imperfections as well, so I'll cover up my pimples. My pimples tend to be very dark and red. Some are acne scars, some are just current, so that's what I like doing. I'm going on the bridge of my nose as well. Going with a sponge. You can also use kind of a stippling brush if you want. I'm going to go with my sponge just because it's easier for me. Alright, so I feel like that looks good, so I'm going into the dark shade, and with this one you don't want to go too overboard, but again, you want to go with enough product for it to look well, because this is obviously under foundation, and the more you apply of this palette, definitely the less foundation that you'll need. So that's also like a bright side, because this is actually a really nice base. I like using contour underneath my foundation for special events because I feel like it looks a lot more natural and kind of like an effortless, you know, bronze to the skin. It kind of looks like your skin is really like sculpted that way. It doesn't really look like you know, faked it to be that way. Alright, so now I'm just going to be blending this out, and I'm just going to be using a sponge as well. Also cut your cheeks with a lighter shade on this palette if that's what you like, but I just don't really like that look for myself. I feel like it makes my cheeks look even bigger. Now, what I'll be doing is applying some foundation. This is a foundation I recommend for photography, for a long day. It just looks very natural, really looks like skin. It also has SPF, which is really good, and I just feel like this foundation has so many shades that you can use. It's one of my favorite foundations. I feel like this is my holy grail. If I had to keep just one, this would be it, because it never does me wrong. It lasts forever and it looks just beautiful on the skin. So I'm going to be using this. I don't feel like I need a lot of foundation, so I'm putting a one full pump on my brush, on my sponge, and I'll just be applying this all over my face kind of. I do like the application of this one with the sponge because it just applies a lot better. That way it adheres to your skin also a lot better. So I also don't want to be applying a lot of foundation because I don't want that bronzer that we applied or that contour that we applied to go away. I kind of want it to peek through the foundation, and let's be honest, I mean, I already have a full coverage face, so what else really am I looking for here? Alright, so if you need extra coverage, you could also apply some concealer over top of this if that's what you like. So look, I'm going to go ahead and set this, and for this I'm going to be using my favorite loose powder. This one is the Chanel translucent powder, and this one is just the translucent one. They have different shades. I have the 02. If you are more in the light shade, you can use 01, and if you're deeper, you can use 03. But it's just such a loose, fine powder, and it just applies beautifully. I have dry skin, so I don't want to leave this, you know, on my skin for too long, but it is really nice. For the other parts of my face, I do want to set them as well because obviously we use a lot of cream products. You have to go in with a powder and really seal that product. This one is an ambient lighting bronzer, and I have the shade Nude Bronze Light, and it does look like this. I feel like for this video, we just wanted to use all of our, most expensive products because, we want to look good and feel pampered for a wedding. Not that I'm getting married, I'm just making this video, but I feel like this is such a radiant and pretty bronzer, and it really has a couple of shades that fit a lot of different skin tones. This one, I feel like it's perfect for my skin because my skin is very kind of yellowy, and I didn't want something that was too warm or too cool. So this one is kind of like the perfect in between, and I just really, really love that. Also it's not completely matte, but it's also not super shiny. So it's just going to leave your skin with that kind of natural look to it. The next thing I'll be applying is some blush. This one is the Judith August Cosmetics True Color Blush, and this one is in the shade Berry Pink. So I'm just going to be applying this really lightly. I feel like that looks really good. So let's finish off our face so then we can go back under our eyes and then finish off our eyebrows because my eyebrows are driving me crazy right now. Alright, so I feel a lot better now that I have my eyebrows done. So we're going to go back into the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe palette, and we're going to finish under our eyes. And I'm going to be doing something very similar to what I did on the top. So I'm going to be going into the shade right here. I'm just going to be placing this kind of under, obviously, my eyes. Alright, going with this shade right here, which is the red that we use in our lid. I am going to be just making this a little bit more red and smoky. Then if you want to apply some eyeliner under your eyes, I would highly suggest doing it with shadow instead of an eyeliner because it will last a lot longer. So I'm going to be going into the Blackest Black from Natasha Denona. Taking just an eyeliner brush, I'm going to be dipping into this and just applying it very close to my lash line, kind of if it was just a eye pencil. I have very, very watery eyes, so this just works great for me. Now we're going to be applying some mascara, and while that dries, and I'll be applying some highlight. So I'll be using this one from Kiko Milano. There's a Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I know that one has one that is waterproof, that a lot of people really like that, and since you are going to be using lashes anyway, I would just go with something that is just waterproof and be safe. This one I like a lot because it has two sides. One is curly and the other one is flat, so that way you can like curl up your lashes with one and then really intensify that black with the other. While that dries, I'm going to be doing some highlight. I think I'll be using this Jaclyn Hill and Becca palette. I know this is old, but I'm going to be using Champagne Pop, which is something that you can still get, and I believe they just launched a new line on this. So I chose this highlight because it's very creamy and buttery. It wasn't going to make your skin look textured. It wasn't going to look like an Instagram highlight because that is not the look that we're going for today. It is still really blinding, so it's definitely going to apply over, look good on camera. And it's going to look really good in person as well. I am applying a little bit extra just because this is a YouTube video, but in reality you want to apply a little bit less than this. Now we're going back into our Artist Couture highlight, and this one is just so shimmery and pretty that I just wanted to kind of top that highlight off with this because it's going to make your face look a lot more just princessy. And yeah, that's the word I was looking for, princessy. This highlight just has a very soft like glitter to it, and it just looks really, really pretty. You can definitely tone this down a little bit if you would like to. But for lashes, you definitely want to use some mink lashes. You don't want to have something that looks very plasticky on your pictures. It'll really ruin your pictures. I say this a lot to a lot of people. You definitely want to make sure that you buy good, expensive lashes because obviously you are going to be treasuring those pictures forever and you just want everything to be perfect. I don't necessarily think I own like the perfect lash for a wedding right now, but I think I'll go with the Tarte's Pro Goddess lashes. These are definitely more on the plasticky side. I would probably not go with these, but I know Velour Lashes has a lot of them. There's just a ton. Lily Lashes, that's really good ones. I'm using this Dirty Little Secret lip liner, and I'm just going to be lining my lips. Using the lip liner all over my lips, because this way it would ensure that the lipstick, even though it rubs off, you're still going to have kind of that color on your lips. Alright, so this one is really rosy. I promise I'm going to tone it down in a second. This is a Huda Beauty Liquid Matte Lipstick. This one is in the shade Wifey. So very fitting. And I'm just going to be applying this all over my lips. I feel like this one is a very nice nude that just fits a lot of skin tones and just looks really cute, and it's also not like too distracting. It's not very bold, but it's also not super boring. The last thing I'll be doing is just spraying my face with some Fix Plus. It's going to really help with, you know, cakiness or anything like that. It's just going to really merge everything together and make it look really good. I'm putting this little veil on because I want it to be very legit for this video, and I don't know, I feel like this video is really long, but I kind of wanted to give you guys my tips and tricks and just show you guys all the things that I know for making a very long-lasting makeup. And I don't know, I feel like it's such a beautiful thing when people just practice their own makeup look. That way, like when you go meet with someone that's gonna do your look, you definitely know what you want. You can knock out a lot of ideas in advance, and that way you don't like waste that one time that you get to meet with that person. Also, this is very cool for people that are just doing their makeup for their own wedding, to look for ideas, and also for makeup artists to just look for inspiration. So that's what I wanted to do today. I swear by all the products that I use today. These are like the things that I use and follow for special events. If I have anything big going on, if I were to go to a photo shoot, this is what I would wear. So I definitely just recommended the things that I really, you know, think that are really worth it. And like I said in the beginning of my video, this is going to be a giveaway video. So if you want to participate, all you have to do is go to my Instagram post, and you're going to see a look, kind of a picture that has this little veil and this look, and obviously what you're seeing right now. So you go in that picture, and all you're going to do is tag one of your friends and like that picture. That is it. That is all you have to do. So the things that I have right here is a Killer Cover palette, which is the big palette that I use and love. This one is great for highlighting and contouring, for using as concealer. You can use this for so many things. You can cut your crease with this. Just such a great product to have. This is also really good for covering tattoos as well. So this is very handy. It's obviously on its packaging, and it brings this little kind of sponge right here. Next one is the orange masking cream that I use for under my eyes to cover my darkness. So this is really handy and really good. You can keep this on your purse. It's so tiny and cute, and it's just something really good to have around. This is the same shade that I use today. It's very pink. It just has it has a different packaging than the one I used today, but it's still the same blush. I love this blush. It's so good. It kind of has some little radiance to it, but it's not too shiny. And then the last thing is this highlighting powder, and this one is, I think, I don't know what shade it is, but it's just a highlighter, and it looks really cute. This one is more for fair skin, I think. So that is it for the giveaway. I really encourage you to participate and to tell your friends if you know they're getting married. So yeah, that brings me to the end of my video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if it was helpful down below, because I definitely took my time and handpicked the products that I used today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you aren't looking for something that is wedding related and you just wanted to see a look on something like neutral and pretty for an event, then you're welcome as well. I feel like this is a really pretty look for somebody attending a wedding as well. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. As always, don't forget to subscribe below, like this video, and I will see you on my next one. Bye!